Ever wanted to challenge yourself against our ancestors from 65 million years ago, attempt to outsmart them and outmaneuver them in thrilling encounters and an experience of a lifetime? This is Jurassic Park Survival. First thing I'm going to address is the title could have used a little bit more work, because it is a bit of a mouthful. But I get it, having the name of the movie in the title can help it be a good seller, but it's a bit much. Though this is the latest game to be added to the Jurassic Park series, announced at the 2023 Game Awards with what I can say is a fantastic trailer. A single-player action-adventure game set on Isla Nublar, where you play as Dr. Maya, an InGen scientist who missed the evacuations. The game is going to have the horror cranked up to 11, as horrific moments of being stalked by a dinosaur to being hunted by raptors. This shit is gonna be scary. Meant to be a never-told story before, but we will see many familiar references to the original film. So it's been set in the time of the first film, as we're able to see many familiar structures, rooms, and obviously fan favourite dinos. A while ago now there was another Jurassic Park survival game being developed, just like this, but it was going to be set on the third film instead of the first, which, don't get me wrong, is still great, but hit nowhere near as hard as the first one did. I'm glad they decided to go with the first one, as I think everyone under the sun has at least seen it once, and if you haven't, make sure you do. There are many things that we can take from the trailer. As firstly, well, we have the iconic kitchen scene recreated, though this time just with a measly Gallo instead of a raptor. At the start, we see some snippets coming from the movie, or as how everything was left after the movie, as we see the car falling from the tree, the abandoned track car next to the T-Rex exhibit, and obviously Alan Grant's hat. Let's not also forget the recreation of the famous flare scene that we see in the final minutes of the trailer. Because it's based on the first film that holds heaps of iconic moments, we might see an abundance of Easter eggs or small notations in honor of the movie, which would add a nice touch to the game. Now, the developers behind the game are Saber Interactive. The most popular titles I would say they have done are SnowRunner, Teardown, or even Warhammer 40,000. Their last movie game though was World War Z, which arguably did pretty well, still pushing strong with updates as recent as the 25th of January 2024. So if they manage to produce a game of similar quality, I think we would all be happy. Like most new games coming out this year, this will also be built on the Unreal Engine 5, which, once again, I don't blame them, is an incredible engine with the power to do so much. And it is only a trailer, but if the game ends up looking something like that, then it is truly unreal. The game was only announced like a month ago now, but there are some predictions that the game will come out later this year, or at least to be pushed back to early 2025. A story game like this though, you can't exactly release it into early access. There's no way at all. So a full release is mandatory, and currently the game is in still some early development stages. Which is a bit of a scare, as the pressure is now on once they release that trailer. What happened with the last attempt to make the game was the movie itself was kind of in development still, and also the game was just looking to take inspiration from the movie and no real references, which is a bit stupid. But with the new edition, the one that we see now, it looks like it's going to be a sequel to the movie. From my standpoint, I'm hyped for this game, as only recently I rewatched the original trilogy and thought to myself how great these movies were. Granted, 2 and 3 definitely worse than 1, but still had some great moments in them. When I heard they were trying to make a game before this, but based it on the third movie, I thought surely the second movie would be so much more fun. You have some incredible moments with the Spino, and not to mention a good start to the game as you crash onto the island. I would say though perhaps there was less memorable moments about 2, but there was a lot of room for creativity, and you could have gone away with adding new things or removing old scenes. Nonetheless, I'm happy they decided to go with the first film, as watching it for the first time as a child was terrifying. The horror feeling of the T-Rex trying to eat the cast, to the raptor kitchen scene which most of us shat ourselves. Good choice, Saber. Developers and publishers making games based on movies isn't something new, where in recent times we've seen some major movies get big titles, to which most of them have been successful. Though not many of these games have been different to the respected movie. Like the recent Star Wars Jedi games have been completely different, and how it's like set in the same universe but a completely different story and a new point of view to look at the movies. That is exactly what Saber Interactive has done as well, as they used the same events from the first film and created a whole new story for us to adventure. The fear is that it is difficult to do this, because now it all relies on the team's capability to write a good story, and hopefully not stuff up any of the movie lore. All I can hope is that this game doesn't disappoint when it gets released, as some of the most recent Jurassic films haven't really reached the heights we wish they had. Being a story game was the perfect choice for this type of game, and there's no other way you would want to do it. Hopefully some familiar characters come into the game, whether it's like their voice through the radio or some small references across the map to them. Anyway, thank you for sticking around and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and let me know what you think of the game down below in the comments. Thank you for watching. Peace.